What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It is a beautiful fall day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, I just got home from work, but over the weekend I picked up a number of beers. I went up to Michigan to do a beer run. I'm pretty lucky. I'm only an hour and change from the Michigan border. And if I run over the border, you can go to a grocery store like Meijer or something and find all kinds of beers that you can't get on this side. So I happened to go up to a small town called Adrian. And while I was there, I got a couple of mixed 12 packs and I picked up a 4-pack of this beer here. And this is called Norm's Raggedy-Ass IPA. Now I saw that name in this can art and I couldn't pass on it, right? It's pretty interesting. It just says Griffin Brewing. I guess they're from 2013. From the heart of the tap room, citrus and pine, Norm's Raggedy-Ass IPA, 7.2% ABV, and we have all kinds of designs on here, some horseshoes, a bike, a donkey smoking a cigar, all kinds of other neat stuff. But, I figured I had to give it a shot. Now, when I came home and looked it up, I found that this was actually the 2010 World Beer Cup Gold Medal winner. So, apparently, not only does it have a neat name for the beer and some interesting can art, but it's actually pretty good. So, I figured I would give it a shot. Like I said, this is from Griffin Brewing. They're out of Birmingham, Michigan, which I was unfamiliar with. I'd never heard of that town. But I pulled it up on the map, and it looks like it's just kind of greater Detroit metro area. So kind of like north and slightly west of Detroit. But when you looked on the map, it had like the big, I guess the white area, the circle that was Detroit. It was kind of in it. So I'm guessing Detroit suburb. But pretty interesting. I think I've seen Griffin before, maybe back in the day, but I don't recall trying their beers. I'm sure I probably did, but I don't think I've ever did a video on one or anything, so I figured this was a worthy brew. Now, let's go in for the smell on this bad boy first. I have a proper glass for a nice IPA. Ooh. Citrusy on the nose for the most part. Maybe a little bit of underlying pine. It's weird for me. If you guys watch the channel, you know I'm not a big IPA guy. I'm trying to drink more of them and expand my palate a little bit. I tend to like maltier beers, stouts, Vienna lagers, things like that. But I don't mind an IPA once in a while. And especially, if it's a gold medal winner at the World Beer Cup, it has to be a fairly decent representation of the style. On the socials, it says a 3.76 on Untappd, 3.83 on Beer Advocate. Overall, 86, very good. Now, as to color, I guess if we're looking at this with our Brew HQ chart, it's got maybe like a 6, kind of like a golden color. It's maybe like a tiny bit of an orange hue, but it looks pretty decent. A little bit cloudy. Can't really see through it. I can't see through the other side. I mean, I got light passing through, but can't really see that great through it. Fair amount of carbonation. I'm getting some decent sized bubbles there. Head looks magnificent. I mean, that's multiple fingers, white. That head looks like mousse on there, man. That's not going anywhere. Looks really good. Nose, like I said, I'm mostly picking up citrus. It's almost more like grapefruity kind of citrus. When I looked this up on Beer Advocate, no, actually it was Untappd, it said this was brewed and hopped with American, Centennial, Cascade, Columbus, and Simcoe hops. So a lot going on there. And again, for me, I usually break down IPAs into more piney or more tropical fruit. This, from the nose, appears to be a little bit of both. I think the definite dominant smell is more like that citrusy bitterness, but you get some pine under there as well. Now, that's enough of that. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. And I didn't actually breathe any in when I went to sniff it. Magnificent. Body. Medium fuller. It's not full, but it's more on the high end of the medium spectrum, in my opinion. 65 IBUs. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. 7.2% ABV. First things first, it's a pretty decent tasting beer, just right off the bat. When you first sip it, I think you probably get the citrus notes up front. So for me, I think I'd probably say maybe more like a grapefruit kind of citrusiness, because it's like a little bit bitter, and then it kind of gives way to that pininess. I tend to prefer piney to fruity, so this one's a little I guess different for me in that you get both of those flavors. You kind of start off with that citrusy thing, and then it kind of leads the way into the pininess at the end. But I kind of dig it. It almost reminds me of, what is it, like spruce tips? What was that one? I think it's called Pennsylvania Tuxedo. It's like a big piney beer. It's like that, but with the citrus up front on it, and then it leads to that more pininess. Maybe a tiny bit dry at the end too. For 7.2, I don't think there's any booziness to it. I don't think you'd think, oh my God, this is over, you know, you kind of average 5% or something like that. Solid beer. I can't complain about anything in this brew. No, but we'll see this. If you're a big IPA guy, I think that you would still like this because there's enough hop flavor in this. But if you're new to IPAs, I think this could also bridge the gap because while there's definitely a lot of robust flavors in there, like you get those grapefruit notes, you get some other citrus, maybe more like lemony kind of thing. You definitely get some piney notes. I don't think that it's distracting or gross. You know, a lot of times one of the knocks on IPAs is it's like deep throating a pine cone, right? Like who the hell wants this? I think with this, you get all those good flavors, but it's not overwhelming or gross. So, you know, obviously fits the bill. And as it's won medals before, people with better palates than I think the same thing. So Norm's Raggedy-Ass IPA, the 2010 World Cup gold medal winner from Griffin Brewing out of Birmingham, Michigan. You guys killed it. I think this is a thumbs up. I would definitely drink another one of these. Cool beer. Thrilled to be able to try it. Glad I was able to pick it up at Adrian. And, you know, again, I'd like to try some more Griffin beers. Maybe I got to keep my eyes open next time I head up to Michigan and see what else I can find. So hopefully you like the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. You know, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. As always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had Norm's Raggedy-Ass IPA? It's won a gold medal at a World Beer Cup, so it's got to be pretty popular. I'm sure some people have hunted it down and tried it. If you have, let me know what you think about it. Or if there's any other beers from Griffin that I should be looking for, drop them in the comments. Hey man, till next time, cheers.